Hi everyone, this is Tina. Welcome back to my channel. Welcome to Saturday Morning Makes with Jill Norwood. I have made a few cards, and if you watch my channel, you know that I was collecting a little bit of like shabbiness stuff, like laces and flowers and stuff like that, because I wanted to create some vintage shabby, if that's how you say it, like a vintage shabby, vintage shabby type cards. And I've been having a lot of fun picking through my papers and stuff. And so let's get to it. I have some dies here that I used, spellbinders, nesting scallop dies. I have both sets so they go into each other. This was a gift from my friend in New York. I have this small doily die in, I think, if I'm not mistaken, this might have come from AliExpress. I have the Gina Marie cross stitch circles, and I use some of those. For papers, I had grabbed some October afternoon papers and a few other vintage papers I had in my stash. Yeah, so I've used a few of these. And then I used a couple pieces out of this. This is a Lemoncraft. It's called Sense and Sensibility by Lemoncraft. And it's very pretty. It's very Victorian, kind of like vintage shabby. So I love this paper pad. I need to get another one. I love that flowers. Oh, that's my favorite print. So anyway, I use that. Yeah, so let's get started, and I'll share with you the cards that I made. Excuse me. All right, I put them in plastic because I'm going to have them over in my basket, and I always put them in plastic so I can keep them nice and clean, free of dust. Okay, so here's the card. So I have some gingham in the burgundy here, and I distressed everything with what was it, gathered twig oxide. Okay, then I used some of this floral print here, and it's kind of like diagonal. I used this doily that I had in my stash, and I think it was tea dyed. Someone had gifted it to me. I'm not 100% sure that that's the original color that was. I have this piece of lace that goes up the side here. It's a little thicker on this, and then it goes over to here. And then I have a button on top of a piece of seam binding, and also thread. So there's thread underneath the seam binding, and then the button on top of that. And I get my seam binding from Etsy, and it comes from the My Cabin, I think it's called. If I remember, I'll leave the link down below where the seam binding is. She has the best seam binding. It's all crinkled and colored just perfectly. And then I use some hearts. Oh, I forgot. I used some hearts, and I have these two sets from AliExpress. This one, I think I used on this card, and then on another card, I think, I'm not 100% sure, I used this scalloped one. But these are primitive hearts I got years ago on AliExpress. So I used the hearts in here. Not sure you'll be able to see with the gingham, and it's curved up right here just a little bit. And then I put a little butterfly, some gems down the middle of the butterfly. And then this is a sentiment that's cut out of the paper. It says moments. And then there's another little heart on this side down here, and I'm not sure you'll see all of it because of the sentiment. And then I sprayed it with glitter spray. It's got a lot of shimmer to it. It's very, very pretty. I love making cards like this, and I forgot. Years ago, I used to do it, and then I forgot all about it because I started doing other things. And it just got brought back to me that, I was like, oh, I want to make some vintage shabby cards. So there that is. And then I did the inside. And this piece, the tracing wheel, I use the tracing wheel to go around it to make it look like it has stitching. And then there's the back. So that's the first card that I did. This is the second. Okay. Now, isn't this one pretty? Oh my gosh, I love this one. I love them all, but this one. So I use some teal color, teal and white polka dot paper for the background. Use the tea dye again, not tea dye, gathered twigs, distress oxide to do all the edges of the paper. This is a pink gingham, and I kind of ripped a little bit of it, so it's, you know, it has like little tears in it and stuff like that. Yeah, there. So it has like little tears in it. And then on top of that, I have some rose paper. I can't remember where I got that, but I pulled it out of my stash. And then here's where I used the scallop circle dies by Spellbinders. And I laid the first one down, popped the second one up. And then here's the scalloped Prim Hearts that I got from Allie, that die set. So I did a big one in the pink gingham, and then this polka dot paper again for the smaller one. And underneath here, I took a piece of cheesecloth I had that was dyed with tea, and I stuck that under there for the texture. This heartfelt is from a printable that I had. I think they might have been papers that Gigi gave me, and they had printables on them. So I put the heartfelt, and then this little tiny flower up here. And then I used this little cotton lace with the little circles. I put that on top, and then I ran my distressed gathered twigs over the top of it. It was too bright white, so I didn't want it to be bright white, so I did that oxide on there. And I also sprayed this one as well, so it has glitter to it. And then here's the inside. And then there's the back. So that's the second one, and I have one more for you today. This one here is using the October Afternoon. Oh, I forgot to put the envelope in there. Okay, I'll get an envelope for that one. So here this one is, and this is using the October Afternoon paper, which is my favorite. I love that paper. I don't have much of it left, but I love it. So, use this paper back here, distress the sides. Then I flipped that paper. Oh, I'm so sorry. Where did that come from? I'm sorry, you guys. So, the back side of this paper here has these stripes. So I used that. And then this flower piece was a different piece of the October Afternoon. I think I actually have some sitting here. Yeah, this one here. So I use a piece of that. Sorry, my desk is a mess. So I used a piece of that for the square part. And the layout I got off of a card on Pinterest. I go to Pinterest sometimes for layouts. They have lots of different ideas to use. This is a paper doily that I cut out with the little doily die I showed you. And the paper I used was this real thin. This is origami paper. But it was so nice and distressed. I love the color, and it matched. So I had to cut it out twice in order for you to see it. The first one I laid down was very light, so you couldn't hardly see it. So I cut it out again and put a double layer on there, and then now it stands out a little bit more. I put some flowers here in the corner. I twisted the little flower stem for this piece here. I did a thank you in the middle, and then here's a little butterfly, and that's cut out with the same paper. And up here, use some seam binding and a little wooden button with thread going through it for this corner. And then these little dots, they're Stampin' Up. And I just thought that those matched and filled in that corner nicely. So there's that one. And then here's the inside. And I cut 3 more butterflies out. These I laid flat because they are in the inside. And then there's the back. And that is my third and final card for this Saturday. I think I'll continue to work with these types of cards for a little bit, and then I'll switch up and go to something different. But I'm having so much fun using paper scraps and vintage stuff and putting these cards together. I just wanted to come on here and share them with you and everyone else for Saturday Morning Makes. And please join if you haven't already joined. I'll leave the information for Jill's channel down below. This has been an ongoing collaboration, probably about 4 years now. And it's so much fun. You don't have to do it every weekend. You can do it whenever you can. And you can, if you don't do videos, you can post on Instagram. There's lots of ladies posting their amazing projects on Instagram. Or if you could do it on Facebook, Pinterest, wherever it is. And you don't have to just make cards, you guys. You can make whatever craft it is that you make and share it with us. So it could be crochet, it could be painting, watercoloring, it could be, you know, collaging. We have a gentleman named Brian who has joined us in Saturday Morning Makes, and he makes collages. So yeah, everyone's welcome. Just make sure that you hashtag either your picture or your video with this hashtag SatMoreMakes. This way we can come over and see your projects, because then we just type in that hashtag and everybody's projects come up and you can watch like that, or over on Pinterest. I'm sorry, over on Instagram. All right, you guys, have a beautiful weekend. Enjoy your time off if you are off this weekend, and we will see you again in the next video. Bye, everyone.